Right, good afternoon, robins and rabbits, and welcome to story time. So today I have chosen Chocolatina. So some of you might have heard this story last year with me, and it's one of my favourite stories. You'll have to excuse it in some areas. It's written by an American author, so a few of the words are a little bit different than we might use in the UK, so I'm sure you'll spot those. And I love this story because most of you know that I love chocolate, and I eat chocolate most days, so this story is one of my favourites. So this is Tina, okay? So Tina loved chocolate more than anything in the world. She loved it more than birthdays, more than roller skating, and definitely more than dried fruit. Everyone called her Chocolatina. When Dad asked, "How would you like your eggs, Chocolatina?" Tina always said, "With a bowl of Choco Crunchies, please." When the lunch lady asked, "What kind of milk would you like today, Chocolatina?" Tina always picked chocolate milk. And when Mum said, "Tonight we are having fruit salad for dessert," Tina covered hers with chocolate. This is Tina's health teacher. So a health teacher is a bit like a science teacher in America. So Tina's health teacher, Mrs. Thirdman, hated chocolate and everything else that children liked. "You should eat only foods that are good for you," she told the class. On special occasions like birthdays or full moons, she gave them all dried prunes. Have a little look at the children's faces. How do you think they feel about dried prunes? What kind of teacher do you think Mrs. Thirdman is? Is she a nice teacher? Is she a nice character in the story, or is she a not very nice character in the story? Mrs. Thirdman's favourite saying was, "You are what you eat." She would write it on the chalkboard and make the children repeat it every day at the end of class. "You are what you eat. You are what you eat. You are what you eat." One day during this part of health class, Tina bit the ear of a chocolate bunny. Then she stood up and she said, "I wish that were true." Would you like to be made of chocolate? She's wishing that she was a chocolate bar. How would you feel if you were chocolate? That night, a strange thing happened. When Tina woke up, she felt all stiff. She went downstairs and looked in the mirror. Immediately she saw why. "I've turned into chocolate," she cried. Does Tina look very impressed with being made out of chocolate? How do you think she's feeling right now? "Whatever you say, Chocolatina dear," said her mother from behind the newspaper. "Now hurry up and eat your breakfast or you'll miss the school bus." When Tina got on the school bus, everyone gasped. "Do you mind if we don't sit together today, Chocolatina?" her best friend Patty asked. "My mum will ground me if I get chocolate on my new shirt." After a lonely bus ride, Tina was glad to be in spelling class, her favourite subject. But her first word in the spelling bee was cocoa, and she got all flustered and she spelt it wrong. She definitely doesn't look very happy, does she? At lunchtime, Jimmy Delrooney tried to bite off one of Tina's elbows. "I just wanted dessert," he told the principal. So the principal is the same as a head teacher. It's a bit of an American word. Recess was horrible. So again, recess is another American word, and recess just means playtime. So playtime or recess was horrible. Tina was too stiff to run or jump, so she had to just stand and watch everybody else have fun. And see her friends carrying her in. When it was time to go back, her feet had melted to the pavement. The other children had to carry her back inside. Worst of all, it was time for her health class again. What do you think Mrs. Thirdman is going to say to Tina or Chocolatina when she goes in as a chocolate bar? Mrs. Thirdman made Tina stand at the front of the classroom. "Didn't I tell you, class? What have I always said? You are what you eat," said the children. "That's right. See me after class, Tina." When everyone else had left, Mrs. Thirdman began to laugh. Have a little think. Why do you think she's laughing now? What do you think she's going to say to Tina next? "I hoped this would happen. I hoped you wouldn't listen to me. I hoped you'd turn into a chocolate girl. Do you know why?" "Why?" asked Tina. who was shaking so hard that she thought she might crumble into a pile of chocolate chips. Why was Tina shaking? What do you think was wrong? If I was shaking, I'd be very scared. And looking at her, she looks a little bit scared of the teacher. Because I love chocolate better than anything, shouted Mrs. Ferdman. She grabbed Tina, opened her mouth wide and went straight for Tina's right ear. Just then the principal walked in. Mrs. Ferdman, I was just wondering, Mrs. Ferdman, what on earth are you doing? So this is another American word, principal. It's the same as a head teacher. I thought she was a prune, said Mrs. Ferdman. The principal walked Mrs. Ferdman outside and she was never seen at that school again. That night, safe at home in her bed, Tina cried a little chocolate syrup tear. I wish I could be a normal girl again, she whispered. Do you think she's going to get her wish? And when she woke up, that was just what she was. Hooray, she cried. I'll never eat chocolate again. Hurry up and eat your breakfast, dear, or you'll miss the school bus, called Tina's mother. On the table was a giant bowl of Tina's favourite super chocolatey cereals. I'll never eat chocolate again, said Tina, starting tomorrow. And then she ate it all up. That's exactly what I would do. Just keep saying tomorrow, tomorrow. And at the end there's a picture of her health teacher who has turned into a chocolate bar. So I would like you to think about now, would you like to be turned into your favourite food? So what is your favourite food and would you like to be turned into it? Thank you very much.